I mean, when your basic idea of safety is compromised, it impacts everything you do. Everything. How you get to work, how you get to school, how you play outside, how you dream for your kids, what you fear when you go to bed. It impacts everything.
How do we keep our community safe? Safe from police brutality and safe from gun violence? These are the questions that the city of Minneapolis has been grappling with since becoming an epicenter of a global movement. But the need for consensus on policing and solutions to these issues is more urgent than ever, as we're seeing a rise in deadly gun violence across the city. According to Children's Minnesota, nothing kills children more than guns, a fact that hits close to home for LaDavion. 12-year-old LaDavion was shot in the head last summer and has been on a journey to recovery ever since, a journey that's been challenging to say the least.
This is his life. This is what someone has done to him.
Right up front right here, Kevin.
Community leaders wanted to change that, so they gave him a special surprise for his 12th birthday.
Found out he's a Golden State Warrior fan, so I'm like, well, let's go Steph Curry style. I was cleaning out his closet. I'm like, he got a lot of shoes. So I'm like, build him this little shoebox and stuff. Yeah, he go all the way down to the footboard.
Oh my God, look what you got, man.
While his family remains hopeful he'll walk and talk again, they're becoming less certain the person who shot him will be caught.
We love you, Junior.
We know that we have a significant number of shortages within the police department.
Cedrick Alexander was recently appointed the new commissioner of community safety for the city of Minneapolis.
My job is to make sure that you can walk up and down any street in this city and feel safe. My job is to essentially make sure that the crime and violence that we're experiencing, we reduce it to a place where we feel more comfortable.
Chanda Smith-Baker, Chief Impact Officer at the Minneapolis Foundation, is using her position to lead what's called the Fund for Safe Communities, among other initiatives, to move the needle on public safety.
As a leader who is from North Minneapolis and still lives there, and like I will live there forever, right? It's deeply painful for me to know that our children are living with that level of tragedy and our families are living with that level of deep loss. That I believe wholeheartedly that schools and homes and communities are places that should be safe. My son, who's at North High School, experienced the loss of Deshaun Hill, and I watched that pain up close and personally, along with many other tragic deaths of young people under 18 over the span of my career. So while I could look at it from a strategy or tactics, I've been to enough funerals to know, no matter what I say we're doing, it's never going to be enough to the people that are faced with those tragedies.
Let them get settled and you can begin, Mayor, please.
Mayor Fry recently shared, public safety isn't a priority, it's the priority, nominating a new chief of police from out of state.
Certainly, in terms of policing, and in terms of investigating crime, it needs to be informed by not necessarily, arbitrary numbers, but what is the demand? Like what is the community value? What have they structured their priorities for what they want the police doing, and what is the demand? Because certainly, we need to ensure that we're doing everything that we can to investigate cases for victims, to ensure that they not only have service, but they can potentially have justice be made.
O'Hara will report directly to Cedrick Alexander, who says their success to reduce gun violence and solve homicides will require community buy-in.
A lot of the shootings that take place, somebody on these streets know who they are.
And anybody that wants to be in the game of improving safety for communities should be in it. And we're not always going to get it right, and they're not always going to get it right. And so I think in this season of reimagining and rethinking and redoing, I think we got to take the good, bad, and the ugly.
Other residents are doubtful holistic change can come under the same leadership that fostered the culture leading to the 2020 uprising.
Mr. O'Hara, I have the highest hopes for you and the least expectation. I can't even imagine what you're stepping into. A 72-page report by the Minnesota Department of Human Rights that discusses the racism, the brutality, the spying on its citizens. We got a department that, despite seeing 25 million people in 550 cities around the world rise up in howling rage against a brutal 9-minute-plus lynching, they quickly couldn't go 6 months without murdering another man 9 seconds into a no-knock warrant that was allegedly banned. His name, Amir Locke. I will give you the benefit of coming in new. I hope you do well. I don't have high expectations. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because we care so much and because there's so much trauma, people want it to be better for a community, and they have every right to put their criticisms out on the table. I appreciate for sure, since the George Floyd murder and the intentionality that we've all had, regardless of how it's shown up, that at least we're talking about safety, at least we're talking about policing in a different way.